Today I'm going to show you how to make a few different types of Japanese rice balls, so stick around. Welcome back to No Recipes. I'm Mark Matsumoto, and I'm here to show you how to elevate your everyday meals, so smash that subscribe button and ring that bell so you don't miss out. Rice balls have a history dating back over 2,000 years in Japan. And during that time, it's gone by a bunch of names, but these days it's typically known as onigiri or omusubi. The idea behind onigiri is that it's a self-contained bowl of rice that's seasoned and ready to eat on the go. Today I'm going to be showing you 3 different ways you can make onigiri to help you get started. First, we're going to be doing one with the traditional filling. Next, we're going to be doing one with a modern filling. And for the third one, I'm going to be making a seasoned rice called mazegohan. Good onigiri really comes down to just 3 things: the rice, the seasoning, and your technique for shaping it. So let's start with the rice. To make good onigiri, you need to start with the right kind of rice, and I recommend using a Japanese cultivar of short grain rice. The grain on the left here is jasmine rice, and the one on the right is a Japanese one called Akita Komachi. Unlike long grain or even medium grain rice, Japanese short grain rice has a higher ratio of amylopectin to amylose. This not only gives it its sticky texture, it also keeps the rice from getting hard when it cools down. September is the rice harvest season here in Japan, so I'm gonna be using shinmai or new crop rice, which is available right after the harvest. Freshly harvested rice tastes sweeter and has a more tender texture, which makes it perfect for making rice balls. For our traditional onigiri, I'm gonna be using umeboshi. It's often translated into English as pickled plum, but it's actually a type of apricot that's been cured with salt and partially dried, and it gets its vibrant color from red shiso leaves. Tuna mayo is gonna be our modern filling, and I'm gonna be using an 85-gram can of chunk tuna in oil, 3 tablespoons of Japanese-style mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon of soy sauce, and I'm gonna be wrapping these with Korean perilla, but shiso or nori will work here too. For the mazegohan, I'm gonna be using some pickled mustard greens, which are a type of shiozuke. They're easy to make at home, so I'll include a link to my shiozuke recipe in the description below. I'm also gonna be using some toasted sesame seeds. Today I'm gonna be wrapping each rice ball with something different, but the traditional wrapper for onigiri is unseasoned nori, which typically comes in large sheets like this. You'll also want to prepare a bowl of finishing salt like this to season the outside of your onigiri. Okay, let's get the rice started. I'm gonna measure 2 rice cooker cups of rice into the rice cooker pot. If you don't have one, I have stovetop directions for cooking rice, which I'll include a link for in the description below. Now we want to take this over to the sink and give it a good wash. This removes any excess starch and bran that might be left over from the milling process. I just repeat the process of filling the bowl up, agitating the rice with my hands, and dumping the cloudy water until the water runs almost clear. But if you're worried about spilling the rice, you can use a strainer too. Speaking of strainers, a lot of you have probably seen the video of Uncle Roger insisting that the water for rice be measured with a finger. But this is not a good method because everyone has different sized fingers. Instead, you should use the lines on the rice cooker or just use measuring cups. Since I'm using new rice today, which has a higher moisture content, I'm adding water to just under the 2-cup marker. Now we just need to pop this into the rice cooker and turn it on. While we wait for our rice to cook, let's prepare the fillings. Umeboshi have a large hard pit in the center, so you'll want to remove them. This is pretty easy to do with chopsticks, but you can use your fingers as well. I'm gonna wrap the umeboshi onigiri with nori, and as you can see, there's a shiny side and a rough side. Remember this for later because we want to wrap the onigiri with the shiny side on the outside. We need to cut this sheet into thirds along the long side, and if your nori is fresh, you should be able to fold and crease it, which will make it easy to tear like this. If this isn't working for you, you can also use a clean pair of scissors. For the tuna mayo, I'm gonna partially open the can, and then I can use the lid as a kind of strainer to pour out the excess oil it came packed in. Now I'm just gonna dump this into a bowl. Our tuna in Japan comes in 70-gram cans, so I'm gonna add a little extra to make this equal a small American can of tuna. Now I'm gonna add the mayonnaise and soy sauce, and we're gonna mix this up until there's no chunks of tuna left. By the way, if you like spicy tuna, try adding some sriracha to the mix. Mentaiko or spicy cod roe is another great addition to change things up. For the mustard greens, I'm gonna pick the largest leaf and squeeze the excess water from it. This leaf and stem is about 20 grams after being squeezed. Then I'm gonna unfurl the leaf. We're gonna use this to wrap one of our onigiri, so be careful not to tear it. Next, I'm gonna go ahead and trim the stem off, and then mince the stem up so we can mix it into our rice. Finally, I need to prepare a bowl of water to dip my hands in so the rice doesn't stick to them. Okay, that sound means our rice is done, so I'm gonna give my hands a good scrub with soap and warm water, and I'm also gonna wet the rice paddle so the rice doesn't stick to it. Let's open this up and see what we've got. Beautiful, isn't it? Do you see how the rice is glistening? This is a sign of really good rice. Now I'm just gonna fluff this up a bit. You want to use a folding and cutting motion, but be gentle so you don't smash the individual grains of rice. This rice is still gonna be too hot to handle, so I'm gonna go ahead and transfer it into some bowls to cool for a bit. 2 rice cooker cups makes about 6 onigiri, so I've added about 1/6 of the rice to a small bowl for our mazegohan, and I'll add the rest to a bigger bowl. Be sure to keep the rice covered with a damp towel to keep it from getting dried out. Let's start with our mazegohan. I'm gonna add the minced mustard greens to the rice, along with the sesame seeds, and then I'm just gonna mix this together. By the way, mazegohan just means mixed rice, so you can mix in almost any salty ingredient like furikake, unagi, or even crumbled bacon to make your mazegohan. Okay, this is looking great, so let's get ready to turn this into onigiri. I've got my bowls of water and salt here, along with the pickled mustard leaf, and I'm gonna start by wetting my hands. Then I'm gonna dip my index finger into the salt like this, and rub this between my hands to distribute it evenly. Now I'm gonna load the mazegohan into a mound between my palm and fingers. This lets me fold my fingers up to make a U shape together with the palm of my hand, and then I can use a few fingers from my other hand to shape the top of the triangle. Eating onigiri should be like eating a fluffy bowl of freshly cooked rice, so be careful not to over squeeze the rice. Then I just roll it onto another side and repeat this motion to make an equilateral triangle. Now I'm just gonna unfold that mustard leaf and use it to wrap our onigiri. Looks good, doesn't it? Let's do our umeboshi onigiri next. I'm gonna wet my hands and salt them again, and then I'm gonna pile on about 1/5 of the remaining rice into the nook between my palm and fingers. Then I'm gonna press a piece of ume into the center of the mound and cover that up with a bit more rice. Now I'm just gonna shape this the same way as the last one, making a taco with the hand holding the rice and an upside down V with my other hand to shape the top. The rice has cooled down a bit, but it's still pretty hot, which is important because it makes it easier to shape while reminding you not to squeeze it too hard. To wrap this, I'm gonna center the nori on the tip of the triangle, and then we're just gonna wrap the flaps around the other side of the rice ball and tuck the ends underneath. This is gonna be the front side of our onigiri. I like adding a little dab of filling on top of these so we know what's inside. Okay, I've saved the tsuna mayo onigiri for last because it gives the rice a chance to cool down the most, which will keep your mayo from melting and getting all runny. Tuna mayo is a little harder to handle than the other onigiri, but the process is still the same. By the way, this is enough filling for all 2 cups of rice, but since I'm making a few varieties today, I can use the leftovers on a salad or freeze it for another day. Canned tuna can be a little fishy, so I like to wrap my tuna mayo onigiri in a fragrant leaf like Korean perilla. But if you can't find it, shiso or nori will work as well. And that's it! Our 3 different styles of onigiri are done. A good onigiri should be like a portable bowl of rice that's perfectly seasoned and ready to eat on the go. So they make for a satisfying bento lunch on their own, but you can also pack them with other foods like karaage and vegetables to make for a more balanced bento. As long as you're using Japanese rice, your onigiri will stay soft at room temperature until you're ready to eat them in a few hours. But just be sure you're filling them with foods that won't spoil in that time. If you need more details or you want some more onigiri ideas, hit the link in the description to head over to my blog for the full post and recipe. These days, onigiri are made with all sorts of seasonings, wrappers, and mix-ins. So have fun with it and let me know your favorite combinations in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, let me know you want to see more like it by giving this a big thumbs up and by sharing it with all your friends that love rice. This video took time and money to produce, which is why I'm so grateful to my patrons who helped to fund it. If you're learning something new from my recipes, I hope you'll consider clicking the link up here to join the No Recipes crew and help support our future videos. Well, I'm gonna go pack this onigiri up into a bento box and head out to the park for an early autumn picnic. But I'll catch you in the next one.